on every level of money, there are new levels of problems that you do absolutely have to think about how you're going to solve. Everybody wants to, land these $250,000, $500,000, $1 million contracts and beyond. Everybody wants to do that, right? Why? Because this is just a dream, right? Why wouldn't you not, right? But here's the thing: money doesn't solve problems. In fact, on every level of money, there are new levels of problems that you do absolutely have to think about how you're going to solve and how you're going to solve it strategically. Now, which brings me to my second point today that I want you to also write down, right? So the more money you make, just know this, the more money you make, the more money they're going to take, unless you do number two, maximize on your tax advantages, right? So just because you're making a lot of money don't mean you have a lot of money, right? So this is the thing. Most people won't tell you this. This is the thing that you have to be prepared for. Now, when you break into that new tax bracket of making, let's just stick with the number that we're talking about today, $500,000. Well, if you make $500,000 in a day, I'm sorry, you could do that in a day, you can. But if you make $500,000 in a year, now this is your first time being able to do that. And beforehand, you probably was making under 100,000, maybe 80 to $100,000. Well, now you've automatically jumped into a new tax bracket. So, it's definitely a thing to be grateful for, but you also want to be strategic in how you receive those dollars and what you do with it, right? From there. So this is what I mean by maximize on tax advantages. Well, in order for you not to be taxed at 60+%, we're talking about 60 to 65% for those who are not intelligent, right? So they say knowledge is power, right? But the lack of knowledge is very costly because it can cost you a lot of money to not know these things. Okay. So maximizing on tax advantages. Well, for those of you who have been following me for a while, maybe you've seen my video when I talk about the wheels of wealth and how you have to have one of those wheels be a tax advantage wheel that's going to help you continue to multiply your income and to keep some of that income into your household versus paying it out back out in taxes, which it doesn't make sense to be able to do that. For you to have to do that if you do it smart, right? So it's working smarter, not harder. So how do you do that? Well, there's a couple different tax advantage accounts and things or vehicles that you can, consider do your due diligence on. Now, I'm no tax expert. I'm no tax advisor. None of those things. Always do your due diligence in these things. But this is some of the things that I'm learning. So I can only share my experience of the things that I'm learning and what I'm doing to start maximizing on tax advantages to keep some of those millions of dollars in my pocket, right? Versus having to give half back, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to learn. You got to learn somewhere, right? And giving half back is still, you're still $500,000 rich, you know what I'm saying? Richer than you were. But it's not cool when you're trying to create generational wealth, right? When you're trying to create generational wealth, it's not about the quick dollar that you lose. It's about the money that you have that you're able to sustain for generations to come, right? Right. So maximizing on tax advantage. So different types of tax advantage vehicles. Number one is universal index life policies. Those are tax advantage vehicles, right? And if you guys need referrals or references, let me know in the chat because I can send you a reference, right? A later of experts who can help you with some of these things that I'm recommending. So, universal index life policies allows you to be able to put money into tax advantage vehicles that grows exponentially, and you can pull it out tax free. Okay. There are other vehicles, which includes, of course, we all know the IRA. So if you have create a retirement account, like a 501c3, or it could be a self-employed, what is it called? A SEP IRA, or or like a whatever it's called. So I use trademark. No, it's not trademark. Where did I get that from? Ameritrade. That's what it's called. So I use Ameritrade, and so you can put in tax free, right? To save and to deduct or to minimize on your taxable income. I think it's up to $6,000 a year now, right? So that's 6,000. You safeguard that, right? Now, one of the larger vehicles, this is the game, right, that I'm about to give y'all. One of the larger vehicles, and I just did a for those of you who probably watched my or joined our masterclass called GovCon Cash Flow, right? It's about how to actually maximize, optimize, and have more money, especially when you're in the government contracting game, because it helps you have tax strategies, like real big money tax strategies in place. And so, you can still get the recording, although you missed the live. But if you go to govconcashflow.com, you can actually get the recording. It'll automatically be sent to you. But it's the real estate game, right? So here's the thing. And I didn't even know this. And I have real estate portfolios that I've been building, but I had no clue that you can use those investments as tax strategies, which will minimize your stated income, which will minimize the amount of taxes that you have to pay, because now you're putting your money into investments. And then you're also able to deduct those investments and have taxable deductions over like a 27 year period. So every year you're actually able to deduct that amount of that investment value for that year from your stated revenues or income, right? And that way it's not taxed, right? So, but at the same time, and not but and at the same time, you're actually creating and adding assets, right? And so here's what I would say, and my tax professionals can attest to it, like you not attest to it, but like confirm this, right? But again, also I'm not no tax expert. I'm not a tax accountant, but these are some things that I'm knowing, right? Just happen to be some things that I know. So what I also want to say is that like these are tax advantage strategies. Like the tax code was not written for modern day middle class people. It was not written for the poor. The tax code was written for entrepreneurs. So in order to get in the game, first place, you got to have a business, right? So for shout out to all the entrepreneurs that are watching. So you have to have a business to get in the game, but then you have to know how to play the game. I would say a majority of small business entrepreneurs do not know how to play the game. And I didn't know how to play the game, but now I'm learning these things, how to play the game and how to play it more efficiently and effectively and all those different things. And so this is the reason why I thought it was very important to have this particular conversation today. So, the tax code is not for the poor. The tax code is not for the middle class. The tax code is for those who are creating wealth. Now, government contracting can allow you to create wealth. And this is the strategy. This is what I teach. I teach wealth. I'm a wealth creator. I show other people not how to do government contracts. Government contracts is just a vehicle that we use to create and generate wealth. But I show people actually how to create wealth and how to become a first, second, or third time millionaire or generation millionaire or whatever for your family. But also, how do you keep that money? What do you do with it? And so this is why today's topic is very, very dear to me, right? So maximizing on your tax advantages. So again, the tax code is for the rich, right? This is why people like Donald Trump pays no taxes. People like Jeff Bezos and all these super rich people pays no taxes, because they understand the tax advantage, the tax code, and how to actually acquire assets that's going to allow you to depreciate over time and have tax deductions that reduces the amount of taxable income that you have, right, to report.